Auburn quarterback Payton Thorne joins us each week, courtesy of Roback. All your game day gear, great pullovers, wonderful golf shirts and pants, all at Roback.com. Use code TNR20 to save 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
Payton Thorne popping on a bye week right now as Auburn coming off the defeat at Georgia, getting ready to get to the second half of their season at the midway point. And a little golfing hat on for the Auburn quarterback. Maybe a little R&R today? A little break?
So you got to get away, man. Get away.
All quarterbacks can golf, right?
That's right. Let's ask Payton if he can. Auburn quarterback Payton Thorne with us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, first of all, Payton? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
Doing well. Do you play golf? Or you got the Tiger Woods hat on? Are you much of a golfer yourself?
I do. I love to play golf. Definitely a off-season hobby, I guess you'd say. But yeah, I feel like all quarterbacks should be able to play golf.
Do you have a certified USGA handicap? Do you keep a handicap?
I do. I don't know 100%. I can't remember what I finished at this summer, but somewhere between 5 and 7, I think, right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, again, quarterbacks.
Yeah, quarterbacks can play.
They know what they're doing out there. Hey, I think everybody's excited. I see you got a little crew neck on there. Everybody excited about the fall weather. You feel a little fall. You play Michigan State back in the day. What is the coldest game you've ever been a part of?
I'd say, going to high school in Chicago, we had a playoff game that was, single digit for sure. And then I'd say probably we played Indiana in 2022, and it was windy and it was single digit there. I tell the story. I get my towel wet at the very bottom of it so that I don't have to lick my fingers. I just, use the moisture from my towel. And so I went out for warm-ups that game and put a little bit of water on there, and I just got done doing my little routine and went to, feel my towel to get that moisture in your hands, and it was frozen. So that's how I knew it was cold.
So like in that game and back to your high school game in Chicago, how many times do you throw the football in a game like that with single digits?
I'd have to go back and look, but we threw it plenty enough times. The cold really doesn't change things. It's the rain and the wind. We played in 2022, we played at Illinois, and it was like 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. And we actually threw the ball, I think, like 25 times. So we threw a decent amount in that one too. So it doesn't change it too much. It's more when the ball gets really wet that you struggle to throw it.
Payton, currently the USGA has you playing as a 7.
Oh, wow. You looked him up.
I don't know if you're trying to steal strokes when you're playing with your buddies.
I'm 5 to 7.
Yeah, but currently you're a 7 there. And there's a guy named Jeff Thorne that plays at the Auburn University Club that's a 4, so you guys should hook up sometimes. I don't know who Jeff Thorne is.
Yeah, we have some battles.
Yeah. Thorne v. Thorne.
Thorne v. Thorne down there. So, listen, we always say this. There's no such thing as a bye week or an off week. You just don't have a game this week. So what are some things that you will do to mentally and physically make yourself better moving forward? What are you working on this week?
Yeah, you start physically. Was pretty banged up after the Oklahoma game. It was a very physical game, and shout out to our training staff for helping me to get back to pretty much close to 100% for this past weekend. Did a lot of work with them last week, and I was able to feel good enough on Saturday to feel pretty much like myself running around. And then so obviously just cleaning that up this week and making sure everything's back to normal. And then mentally, like you guys said at the start, you do want to take a little bit of a step away for, just a little bit to reset, get your mind off things a little bit. But then also, obviously get locked in, use this extra time to get ready for Missouri, and take advantage of not playing this weekend.
Payton Thorne is with us. Don't forget all Auburn coverage at thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. Join for $1. A lot of free content there. So just go check out some of the great shows that Kyle and Zach and Brad Law and the entire gang are doing there, thebarnauburn.com. And you can sign up starting at $1 right there. Payton is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. It is not translated into wins, and I know wins are the ultimate goal, but there are steps towards that. And one of the major steps is you guys have drastically cut down on the turnovers. It had been a huge issue, but over the last 2 games, just the 1 turnover. I guess that it's a positive step in the right direction, obviously. Is there anything that has led to that? Is there anything that's led to you guys protecting the ball more?
Um, it's kind of a mindset type thing. Obviously, it's a performance based stat. You have to protect the ball when you are getting tackled. You have to protect the ball when you're throwing the ball and when you're catching the ball. And we talk about how everybody's involved with that. Offensive linemen even play a part in that, a small role in protecting the ball in a way too. So it's a group effort. It starts with the quarterback, obviously, when I touch the ball every single play for the most part. I have that responsibility to take care of the ball. So obviously, everybody's been talking about it a lot, but just kind of getting back to just trying to play sound football. And, turnovers is obviously a big part of that. And there's a lot of other things that play into winning football too. Complementary football, field position, red zone efficiency, third down efficiency. There's a ton of things that go into those things, and turnovers is, maybe the most important one of those.
Is there anything outside of not turning the football over in Athens that you guys felt like there were steps in the right direction?
I thought we moved the ball decently. Obviously like I said earlier, we got to capitalize on the red zone. We need to, score touchdowns and instead of settling for field goals. And that game looks differently in the fourth quarter. And then also I think I talked after the game, penalty wise, I think we're doing a really good job offensively of limiting penalties, knock on wood. We need to keep that up, not shooting ourselves in the foot too many times, but it's a lot of little things, that when you're playing really good teams, like we're going to be playing the rest of the year, it shows up, and it's like, when the talent is so similar across the board between teams in the SEC, as you saw this past weekend, anybody can beat anybody. And so, those things show up, and, we just have to be focused on all those little things.
I've loved our first 8 minutes together here because we haven't really brought up any difficult subjects, but I'm the oldest guy here, so I'll be the one that jumps in the deep end.
You looked up his handicap.
I did. I started off very light, so
Yeah.
I'll ask the hard one now. Just relationship with the head coach right now, because there was another, I won't call it an incident, but another end of the game situation where there's some looking at you on television on the bench and head shaking going on. You and Coach Freeze still on the same page? You smoothed over the edges and ready to go in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think it was a fourth down play that was, being looked at, and I won't get too much into it. I could explain what happened, but I don't think that would, help our team. So I'll keep that one in house. But I will say I did not check any play. It was something that we talked about on the sideline, that I said what I saw and what it was, and then obviously our coaches saw after the game when they watched the film too what I was saying, and so we've handled it, but now it's just moving forward and doing what we can to execute out there and to give ourselves the best chance to win the rest of the season.
Let me ask you, and it might not just be Payton that specific moment, but if you've got a break, a timeout, you were in a quarter break at that situation, can you kind of walk us through, like, you got 4th and 1 coming up? I mean, is it like we start with 4 or 5 plays and we whittle it down? Do you get to the sideline like, okay, here's what we're doing? I mean, how does that work when you have an extended time to talk through it, either in a timeout or a quarter break like that?
Yeah, usually I'll be standing there next to coach or next to our assistant quarterback coach and hearing what the ideas are, because obviously I don't have a headset on, and Coach Freeze is then talking through my mic at the time. He's talking with the coaching staff about what they like. And so I'll hear some of the ideas, and I'll get to chime in too about, hey, I really like that one. Or, I don't know if we're going to get the look that, we want there. But, this past weekend, I was just standing there, and I didn't really have too much of a say so in it. I didn't really hear what the ideas were until the final one. So I was just standing there talking with the guys, talking with the receivers about possible things that we could get, and then just relying on the coaches to get that play put together.
How has the in-helmet communication been?
It's been good. I really like it. We've been doing more huddling than I've ever done in my career, and I think that Coach Freeze has done in his career too. And so I've actually enjoyed it. There's something about getting to see your guys before every play and be able to look them in the eye and and get that little bit of extra communication, especially with our young guys that are getting, moved around at times, who maybe aren't sure 100% what they got. I tell them, do not leave the huddle if you don't know what you have. I will tell you what you got, so being able to do that, when you go no huddle, you look out there and you see a guy who looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. You can't, especially on the road, there's not much you can do to try to make sure he knows what he's doing. So I really enjoy the huddle, and obviously with the in-helmet communication, that has made that a lot easier to do that.
Before you go, Payton, this is something you may or may not be aware was being discussed, but apparently the media that cover Auburn on a regular basis, there was a bit of a delay from the players getting from the locker room to the post-game press after Coach Freeze was finished. And it just so happened to coincide with the end of the Alabama-Vanderbilt game. And there were a lot of people speculating y'all were watching that in the locker room. I think that sounds insane. Were they wrong about that?
Yes, they were wrong about that. I don't think there was even any TVs in the locker room.
I would not
don't
imagine
think anybody was live streaming the game. I was taking my pads off, showering, cleaning up, and making sure that we get out of there and we can get home.
Yeah, okay. I thought it sounded insane.
I didn't know that they won until like midway on the bus ride home, because I randomly thought about it and asked the guys, like, hey, what happened? And then they said they had lost. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. That was a mild reaction compared to a lot of people.
Go check out Lane Kiffin's news conference after the Ole Miss game. He's watching the final 4 minutes while he's answering questions from the media.
Yeah.
He's watching a TV, having to get people repeating the questions.
A guy's asking a question, Lane Kiffin goes, how many timeouts does Alabama have? I mean, he's like all glued into it.
It was insane.
Yeah. All right, Payton, thank you for the time, man. Rest up on the bye week. We'll talk to you again soon.
For sure. Talk to you guys later.
All right, man. Take care. Payton Thorne with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.